Mitchell Tamai from Toronto, Canada. Salam Boucher. May Allah accept your worship in this month and beyond. I have a sickness where I am always wanting to prove that I am better and more pious than others.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khairan for the dua. And we make the same dua for you. And for all of the brothers and the sisters, the viewers and the listeners. The best thing that I can tell you is to ask Allah Azza wa Jal to cleanse your heart and to cleanse your mind. And whenever you get those thoughts or those feelings or those whisperings, then immediately seek Allah's refuge and stop. Don't entertain those thoughts. Do not allow them to fester and snowball in your mind and your heart. The moment it pops up, A'udhu Billah, turn away. The moment it pops up, go and run. Pray to Allah, make dua to Allah. And constantly beg Allah Azza wa Jal to give you the tazkiyah. As the Prophet ﷺ used to say in many ahadith, O Allah, give us purity. O Allah, give us huda. Give us tuqa. Give us richness and purity in these things, in the prophetic supplications. Constantly be connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And whenever the whispering or the thought comes to you, immediately seek Allah's refuge and immediately turn away from it. Even if it keeps happening, don't entertain those thoughts. And know for sure that perfection and wanting to be perfect, sometimes it's a natural human feeling, a natural human mindset. It's natural sometimes. But to think that you're more pious and this and that, and to be deceived and deluded, that's a sickness and an illness that only Allah can remove from you. But as we mentioned in our workshop on the fiqh of fasting in Ramadan, we mentioned about spiritual hygiene. If you go back to the recording, me, Nafis, and the other brothers, it was 4 hours long. We spoke on spiritual hygiene. Before we even spoke on Ramadan and fasting and iftar and suhoor and how many rak'ats can you make, do you raise your hands in the qunut, before ruku', after ruku', before we got to any of those issues and technicalities, spotting the moon, we spoke about spiritual hygiene, which was a piece of advice or recommendation from Brother Khan with regards to tazkiyat an-nufus. But we called it spiritual hygiene. The advice that was given or the suggestion that was made, and me choosing to honor that advice and that suggestion and to put it before the fasting was done for wisdom. And that's because if you don't have spiritual hygiene, then oftentimes your fasting, your prayer, these things are no value. And if they're of value, it's going to be limited value. You have to have a clean spirit. It doesn't have to be 101% perfect, but a general washing and cleansing. Spiritual tazkiyah. And we mentioned in that lecture, that 4-hour lecture, is that with regards to tazkiyah to nafs, it goes both sides. There's a side of the tazkiyah that is pertaining to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that only Allah can do. And at the same time, there's a side of that tazkiyah that the slave has to do. Beg Allah, cry to Allah, ask Allah, but you have to put in the necessary effort to humble yourself. You have to put in the necessary effort to avoid the sin, to avoid this, to seek knowledge, and so on and so forth. That's the best advice I can give you in this situation. And Allah knows best.
Ali Masoom